Good morning, my fellow yogic travelers. I'm mighty glad to be alive today, and I hope that you are too as we continue to live, laugh, love, learn, linger, live the life we love. Thursday, so I'm going to get into a little Zen story telling. But first, I want to remind you how important focusing your attention is, because the law of attraction, which says that which is like unto itself is drawn, responds to your vibration. So anytime you think of something, you activate it. And the more you pay attention to something, the more you activate that vibration, and then the law of attraction brings more of it to you. That's why I always talk about selectively sifting what's good, and I say go for joy. That means you deliberately have to activate vibrations that feel good in order to attract that to you. So focus on what you want instead of what you don't want. Find something good to think about that feels good while you're thinking about it. And then notice that you bring things into reality by your enthusiasm and your energy. And you keep it going by the same enthusiasm and energy. So who's responsible for keeping it going? You are. All right. So with that as a little beginning, in yoga, it's strange that the first ethical observance is called ahimsa, or nonviolence, and yet one of the main scriptures of yoga takes place on a battlefield, the Bhagavad Gita, where a warrior whose dharma is to protect the realm and to take up the righteous fight doesn't want to do it when he sees it's a clan war and so many of his friends, preceptors, uncles, and so forth are on the other side. So it's dishonorable not to engage in what your dharma is, but yet he feels like he's stuck in the battle of life, and he doesn't realize that his charioteer is God, Krishna, who's going to tell him why he has to go and do this battle. Kind of a strange paradox, isn't it? But yet there's the same idea in the Zen tradition, which the samurais, you could say the feudal knights, they had their own conduct, bushido, they had their own way of life. It was extremely honorable in a certain way, violent as it was. And so there's the idea that if somebody kills your master, you are duty bound, honor bound, to go and hunt out that culprit and seek your revenge. So in this one tale, this master gets assassinated, and his main pupil goes on a search for years to find out and then kill who this assassin was. And he finally finds him and gets him cornered. And he walks up to him and he draws the sword and he's about to run him through when the guy spits in his face, and the samurai sheathes his sword and turns around and walks away. And the guy who's expecting himself to be killed said, "What are you doing? How come you didn't kill me?" He says, "Well, when you spit in my face, I got angry." So obviously there's a controlled folly that you need to observe when you put your energy out. And I guess there's a difference between killing for revenge where your own ego is involved and doing a righteous deed out of honor. And I guess it's really tough to know the wisdom of the two, but if you're trained, maybe you have a better understanding of that. Nonetheless, as I leave you today, I just want to ask you questions. When I taught at the Yoga Circle, my students remember I always ask some kind of psychological question to throw into the mix. So even if we're not discussing it at length and throwing ideas back and forth to clarify and give new perspective, it's still something that each one of us can wrestle with, because a good one-liner is like free therapy. So I ask you all, what do you do to nurture yourself and prevent burning out? I like adult coloring. So I'd love to hear from some of you. Tell me what you do to nurture yourself and to prevent yourself from burning out. Other than that, have a great day. Subscribe to GabrielHalpern.com. I'll be at the Avatar Fest out in Homer Glen this weekend. Check that out. And then next Wednesday will be our Good Vibrations class on yoga bringing order out of chaos. Have a great day. See you up ahead.